Hi, everyone, and happy Friday. It's that time again for our live stream of our Heat Press for Profit podcast. Now, for those of you that are taking time out of your day to listen and join in our conversations, thank you so much for tuning in live on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Make sure you shout out who you are, where you're from, and of course, you guys know that I love to know your business name. Now, today's conversation is really going to be talking about on-demand selling, event selling, and then, of course, spot selling in your shop and everything that can go along with that. Now, our guest today is Cayla Walker. She is the owner of Daisy's Designs, and she is doing many things. So she's not just a one-trick pony selling in shop. She's constantly adapting to what she needs to do. So if you guys have any questions for her in the midst of this stream, please pop them in the comments. It's a great way to really get that one-on-one answer from her and to really be able to dive into those questions that have been on your mind. So let's get started. Cayla, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your vacation, right? So I'm going to preface that. Cayla is on vacation, taking time to be on this podcast.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I own a screen printing and embroidery shop in Indiana, and we just keep growing. And every time I turn around and think that we're plateauing, we just continue doing more and more. So we started in a little spare bedroom of an apartment that I had, and now we have a storefront with multiple employees, and we have a 20-foot trailer that we take to a bunch of different events. It's enclosed. It's got shelving. It's got clothing racks on it. And we take our transfers, we take the heat press, and people come up, they tell us what they want, and we show them the transfers and we make it for them. So we do that as the shop as well, but then they kind of come and do both. So we've been adapting, like Kelly said, we've been adapting and making it work for the past 8-9 years. We got a trailer right before COVID hit, so we kind of slowed down on the on-site selling, but that's really when my storefront ramped up. So yeah, I love what I do, and I'm glad I can talk to you guys today.
I love that. Isn't it kind of crazy how you do one little pivot and then everything starts to ramp up and then change?
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I find that most people, when they have a change like that, they think it's going to be minimal or that it is just going to be a little extra for them to make, in their business or, an added on option. But from what I'm understanding, this has really become another piece to your business. It's another, I'm going to say platform because it's not just in shop, it's at events.
Yeah.
How many do you do a year? Do you know?
Like how many events?
Yeah.
I do at least once a month. There's some months where it's like weekend long or that it's week long events. We go to different county fairs in the summer that we're there from Saturday to Friday. And then we pack up on Friday and we go to another one Saturday to Friday. So I'm very lucky that I have employees that can run my shop, and I have family that help me pack up and move from one county to the next county. I wouldn't say that we have all of the bells and whistles on our trailer, but it makes it works. And we're able to get from place to place easily. We have a lot of connections in our kind of like our donut counties, just from me growing up here. But yeah, I would say at least once a month we're gone for 2 to 3 days.
Awesome. So, I mean, you're definitely investing your time into this, and it is something that you are fully committed to.
Yeah.
Plus, I do want to kind of touch in a little bit about the support that you have because, there's a lot of people out there that are doing this business solo, or maybe it's family, right? So it's a husband, wife, doesn't have to be husband, wife. It could be mom and daughter, right? Like there's so many different ways to do this business. But one thing that really caught my attention from a previous podcast that we've done is about employees and making sure that you have that support. So I definitely want to hit on that in a little bit, but let's dive into the difference in what you've noticed between on-site selling and in-shop selling. we talked just a little bit where you offer a little bit of that customization, like walk into the store and they can pick out a shirt and an item, and that's their garment, right? It's not
Yeah.
just a minimum type of quantity that you offer. So, first off, how did you determine that that was a part of your business that you wanted to have for in-shop selling?
So there's three of us in my community that do the same thing. One focuses on screen printing.
Okay,
One focuses on like car decals and like wraps, and we kind of do everything.
cool.
Nobody really wants to do the onesie twosies because that's not where you make your money. You make your money on those bulk orders. So we saw that there was a demand in town for people needing items on the spot. So like home football games or homecoming or um, like events that are
Yeah,
specifically happening, there was just that need in the community. And so that's why we in the shop started doing the um, on the spot making. And so you never know what size of clothes you're going to need. And so we used to say, okay, we're going to make 5 smalls, 5 mediums, 5 larges, and go to an event, and everybody would want an extra large. And so we were left with these shirts that would say 2024 on them or
yep,
2019 or whatever, and what are we going to do with them? So allowing them to come up, now only we have to throw screens away if they expire or if they have dates on them. We don't have to throw the clothing away.
sure.
So that's really helped us, whether we're at the shop or on the trailer, um, be able to keep our profit margins up.
So with having a store, right, that on-site, um, I think some people think, like any business, right? If you build it, then they're automatically going to come. If you have a storefront, then people are going to automatically know that you're there and everybody's going to flock to it. So, what did you learn with having a brick and mortar in terms of branding and not invisibility, visibility, and really getting people to know what you do?
Yeah. So we started embroidering. My first machine I got in 2014, and then in 2016 we got a heat press. We started using transfers. So I would say we've really been the business that we are since 16. I've been in the storefront that I've been in for 3 years this month, and people still walk in my shop and say they have no clue who we are. I'm in a small community, so it shocks me with how much I post on Facebook and how much marketing I do, that people don't know who we are. And I think it's just word of mouth. Whether you're in a small town or a big town, it's getting that information out there. And you have to spend money to make money. And when we first started, we didn't have the money to spend,
Yeah.
so we didn't do a lot of promoting. And I've always been a firm believer: if I don't have the money, I'm not going to spend it. So I didn't always spend the money that I should have to market the way that I should. Um, I was just very frugal on my cost. But it's not if you put it there, people come. You have to make sure people know you exist, and you've got to put out a good product through your door, because if you're not putting a good product out, one bad apple ruins the whole bunch. And so when you have one person that badmouths your business, then it can trickle to the entire community. And so while we love our storefront, we still take the trailer out and we still make sure people know that we're in this community and that we give back to the community.
Do you take the trailer out also as marketing? Like you'll go and take the trailer and maybe put it somewhere and let it stay there, even if you're not, branding on the spot?
Yeah, not really. Our town ordinance doesn't really allow trailers to be parked out and about. So one of my largest customers, we do stuff for Indiana 4-H, and so we do a lot of county 4-H stuff as well. I live in Boone County. I was a 10-year member of Boone County. I went to school originally to be an educator. So I have a lot of ties to 4-H, especially here in Indiana. And we park our trailer out at our Boone County Fairgrounds, and the facility guys out there park it in a really nice place. So our fairgrounds are used every single day, every single weekend, even outside of our fair week. And so people that are coming from meetings or birthday parties or auctions or whatever, they see the Daisy's trailer sitting there. So we don't necessarily say that it's there for marketing,
Yeah.
but I think the facilities guys put it in a very good location for us.
It's strategy.
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
very
But we
strategic.
also give them a discount, and we give them like really nice like
Yeah.
Carhartt stuff like for Christmas. And we like they scratch our back, we scratch theirs.
But that's a community, right? Like that
Yeah.
is really all about um knowing who's going to support you from multiple different angles. And I think having that relationship to where they're going to take care of you, you take care of them. And um, that's very strategic, but also that is all about bringing a community together and having that, that support. And I think that's huge too. That's one thing that I talk a lot about on this channel is making sure that you have that community. And it doesn't have to be, the printers community. It could just be people around you that support you and want to see you, win. And I think that's huge that you're able to have that because, you know, that's free advertisement in a way, right?
Yeah,
Um
exactly.
Now in terms of determining what transfers are going to sell where, are you utilizing the same designs at both, on site and in shop?
Kind of. So when we absolutely do, but a lot of times for events that we go to, say we go to a homecoming football game, we're going to take our generic Lebanon, our generic homeschool, our generic football designs, our generic whatever. But then we might also have a 2023 football homecoming design as well. We've seen throughout the years a lot of people would rather have something generic than something that's specific to
Okay.
homecoming. Now, if I go to like a fall festival, people want that fall festival shirt. They want the merchandise for the fall festival. But at sporting events, they want a shirt that they can wear for years or for multiple events. So while we used to have very specific designs for the trailer, we found it's a lot easier for us just to take our boxes of that school's transfers with us. And then we take our Cricut. And if we're slow, we'll make some of the stuff on the spot.
Love it.
A Cricut's nice because it's portable and it's a lot
Mhm.
smaller than what else we have. But it also at that same time, people see that we have a Cricut and there's so much like negative stigma of a
Yeah.
Cricut these days. And in all reality, it's just a vinyl cutter. Like it's about the vinyl you use, not the machine that cuts it. But people see that Cricut and then they immediately think, oh, well, I could do this at home. And if you can do it at home, go for it. Like I will help you get your Cricut up and going and I will help you. Um, because if you do those onesie twosie orders that I don't have to do, when you have hundreds or 50 or whatever, and you don't want to weed all that, you're going to come to see me.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
just like the trailer, it gets marketing out there that we exist, but it also tells other crafters like, hey, we're here. We can help you.
I think that's so important that you mentioned kind of like the stigma of a Cricut because um if I'm talking to somebody, about getting into vinyl, maybe they're a screen printer or maybe they've been using screen printed transfers or embroidery and they're wanting to get into unique textures or dimensional vinyl and you need a vinyl cutter, but that's not their bread and butter. I hands down say go get a Cricut, go get
Yeah.
a Silhouette. It's a very, very affordable investment for what you can make in terms of personalization. And it's sad that that's the stigma, but it's the vinyl that you choose to put on the garment. It's the press that you choose to, decorate with, and just really kind of understanding those fibers. So there's really so much more to it. And I wish that's one thing people would kind of see when it comes to vinyl, that vinyl isn't bad.
Yep.
It is all about how you're making it and what materials you're using.
Yep.
Um, do you offer personalization if you're tracking that Cricut along?
We do. So county fairs where we're there for an entire week, we might tell somebody who comes on the trailer, hey, come back tomorrow morning, or come back if we're slow, come back in an hour. Um, we take numbers. We don't do letters pre-made, but we'll do names. We don't do a lot of like if somebody comes up and hey, I want my company logo. Can you print that on the Cricut? I don't do that a lot. I try to stick with just names or
Mhm.
just set designs. Like right now, I'm at our lake. We have a lake house here, and we bring our trailer with us for like Halloween, Labor Day, Memorial. like the events that a lot of people are down here. So we bring the Cricut, but we're here for 3 days. We're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're here every other weekend. So if I take an order that's custom and I can't get it done, I know I can bring it back next weekend and give it to the campers that are down here. But a lot of times we can get those things cut, get them something custom, and that just adds on to what we're able to do.
Do you mind saying what you charge for custom or personalization versus what you do for a stock design?
Yep. So a stock design, if you come in my shop and you just get a generic t-shirt, it's $15.49. So that includes your design on the front, any design that you want. Like I tell people, you can mix and match designs. You can take part of the Lebanon from here and the tiger from here and the mom from this design, and you can make whatever you want. And that on one side costs $15 with your t-shirt. Now then, if you want to add a name, it's $4. If you want to add numbers, it's $4. If you want to add names and numbers, it's $6. So now you got $20 for a custom t-shirt with your name and number, totally affordable. So that same $15 t-shirt that you want something that's custom on it, it's $4. I don't charge per color. I don't charge per inch. I charge $4. And that $15, I already have a markup. That's a decent markup.
Yep.
And then that $4 pays my employees to, quite frankly, deal with customers and come up with that design and figure out what that design, design it, proof it, get that information out there. And now with Ultra Color, whether it's one design or not, that $4 is going to be able to make me money on top of that markup that I already have.
Absolutely.
It's not as easy when we're at an event to be able to make those multicolored things on the spot, but that's what's nice about us having a storefront, so we can say, come back over to Daisy's. Here's our hours. Here's our address. Come check us out. Another thing that I do, and I know this isn't part of it, but when we're on the Daisy's trailer, like we were at an elementary school fall fest the other day, and I've been trying for years to get in with that school. And we built a spirit sale specific for that school. And so when the parents came on the trailer, we might have sold out of the size that they want because we never know what's going to be needed. So if we sold out of all of our smalls, we have that website ready. We have the QR code printed off, and we tell the parents, hey, go to this QR code, click what you want, get what you want, and then come to the shop and pick it up.
So not only do you have your shop, right? You are giving people at an event to go, hey, you can come check us out at the shop. So that's another touch point. People can purchase and pick up at the event on site. You also have a QR code for them to be able to still purchase, something without going to the shop. They want it right then, and you're capitalizing on them ready to make that purchase. And, maybe it's not in hands, but at least you can capitalize on that sale. And I think that's an excellent way to really maximize without having to have a crazy amount of blank inventory.
Exactly.
So let's talk about inventory on blanks. And I have seen a couple of questions come through, but for blanks, I think this is one of the most difficult part for people to do on-demand printing. Transfers, easy, right? You can start small. You can always go in and reorder. There's not a whole lot of investment and square footage to take up and store those transfers. It's the blanks that can add up very, very quickly. So how did you determine the best blanks or the right sizes, the right colors? That's a lot of trial and error. So kind of give us a rundown from beginning to where you are now in terms of deciding what blanks to carry, stock, all of that.
Yeah. So in the store, we have a lot more space, obviously, than we do in our trailer. So one side of the trailer is, it's 2 4-foot sections. I actually have a picture I was going to share. Just a second. Let me find the picture. Actually, I don't know how to do that, but I did it earlier before I was on here. Now I can find it. I had it up a second ago.
Do you see where it says present with a screen and a plus sign? If you click that and then share screen, it'll pop up and I can share it in a wider format so people can kind of see what we're working with. Now, for those of you that are listening on the podcast, go check this out in video format if you want to be able to see what her trailer looks like. But I'm going to share that right now.
Find.
Can you see it?
Is it up?
Yep.
Okay. So that's our trailer. So this was a rainy weekend. So we had the back door closed, which is what you see straight in front of you. We normally have that open, but it was raining and it was snowing, I think. So on the left-hand side, there's like 4 sections of shirts. So the top section is small, medium, large, extra large. Then the bottom left section is youth. The bottom right section is 2, 3, and 4X. So we never know what we're going to sell. It's taken me a lot of time to grab inventory and figure out inventory. Here's another picture of the trailer, kind of showing you
Okay, from different
how
angles.
it's
Yeah.
set up. But when I first started ordering, I order my stuff through Sanmar. And when I first ordered, I wasn't always meeting the minimums. And so I found it silly to pay for shipping when
Mhm.
shipping's $25 and I'm $30 away from free shipping. Why not just get some merchandise?
Mhm.
So I'm a pack rat. So I would get that merchandise in. I had tubs for small, medium, larges when I was still in my house. And I just started accumulating that. So over the years, as I've gotten employees and I've gotten people who are able to help me, we've tagged everything. We've gotten everything put up. And it's really just trial and error. You go to a kids event, you're going to want more kids shirts. You go to an adult event, you don't need kids shirts. Get rid of the kids shirts completely. Put more adult shirts on there. This is the only picture I could find on my phone this morning. But if you look on the left or the right hand side
Mhm.
of the shop, you see a row of clothes, and those are all our blank T-shirts. This picture, when you come into the shop, these are the screens. So you pick your I tell people you pick your screen from here, you pick your shirt from here, and we make it for you. The same thing with the Daisy's trailer. I don't have a picture of where my screens are, but my screens are normally hanging up on the slat wall. And when they hang up on the slat wall, I tell people you pick your shirt, you pick your design, you make it.
That is like an excellent visual for people, because I know when sometimes people see what's available, they don't make the connection of, okay, if I'm picking this design, it doesn't have to be this color, or it doesn't have to be this item. It could be, this design with a long sleeve, or this design with a sweatshirt. And I love the whole square visual of just the design, because it really allows people to see what their options are. And then when you have the array of garments, I'm guessing if they want a purple garment or a lime green garment, they get to choose that, and it's their shirt, no matter what the
Exactly.
design is.
And there's some events, like we do stuff for a fall festival for a local restaurant, and they are very specific that they only want grays and blacks. So we wipe the trailer, we put grays and blacks on there. We don't have as much merchandise of the gray and blacks because
Sure.
I'm not going to buy specifics. But that's what we have. And again, they have a website that's set up. Hey, you want something that's not here tonight? Go to the website, we'll order it. You can pick it up later.
I love that. What's your turn time when they order on that website?
I tell people everything is 2 weeks.
Okay.
So say somebody places an order on a website on a Tuesday, I don't process my websites until Monday. So it's 2 weeks from that Monday. So it might end up being 2.5, 3 weeks. But if the shirts that I have on the website are the shirts that we have in the stock. So
Okay.
if it's a design we have in stock and a shirt we have in stock, I don't have to wait for transfers to come in. I don't have to wait for shirts to come in. As long as we're up on our inventory, I can just go in on Monday, print off the work orders, give them to my employees, and they can make them. So I tell customers it's going to be two weeks. I'd rather over deliver and it be done in 2 days than it be done in
Absolutely.
4 weeks and they're questioning us.
Yeah, like you said, 2 weeks, and now it's been 32 days.
Exactly.
What's going on? When it comes to the assortment of colors that you have, and sizes, because you said if it's an adult event, then, remove those youth sizes, because the adults are gonna wanna buy. If it's a youth event, then make sure you are stocked with youth options. Sizing is so hard, like you said at the beginning. You could carry small through extra large, and then everybody's wanting the 2X, and you have 3 of those. Do you have, I don't wanna say like an equation or a breakdown on, how many smalls, mediums, large, extra larges you carry, or it's, you know what? This is what is currently in stock at my store because we offer that fulfillment,
Yep.
that's what goes in.
Yep. I'd rather take too many items to an event. People that aren't as lucky and they don't have a trailer. This is an event that we've done inside of a building before. And so the rack that you can see my square and my computer on, the back side of that had the only blanks that I took.
Okay.
So I took like 3 smalls, 3 mediums, 3 larges of t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeves. And then I took a lot of pre-made items. We had the heat press there, but the heat press was actually outside on the trailer. So people could pick their stuff and we'd go outside and do it. But it was mostly like cash and carry stuff.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But there's not really an equation. It's just kind of figuring out what your market is.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a bigger girl. And so I'm not afraid to tell people like, oh, this is what size I think you are. Like not judgment, but judge.
Sure.
Like if we go to a running event, you're most likely not going to need 4 and 5Xs because I'm not going to be out running a marathon. Like probably kind of know your market.
Sure.
If we go to a school, a lot of little kids are going to want hair bows. They're going to want cheerleading uniforms, football uniforms. Like they're going to want those cute little things. And what parents going to tell their kid no these days? They're going to get
That's
pretty
true.
much what they want. I mean, I have a 3-year-old, like he gets what he wants. But you just kind of have to play your audience and take more than what you need, but have order forms, have it ready, know what you're going to say when you do sell out. Because in the best case scenario, you're going to sell out of everything that you have and you're going to make buku money. Does that happen? No, that's never happened. But that would be awesome if it did. But you just want to be prepared for that. And so if you do sell out or something happens, and I saw somebody earlier ask about a generator. I don't use a generator. I plug into electricity. So that's the one thing I say anytime that I go somewhere is I need electricity. So I have a very powerful extension cord. I am lucky that in our community, I do our police stuff, our fire stuff, our city gear, our county gear. So it's firefighter approved extension cord that runs. It's a huge extension cord that runs over to the trailer. From that extension cord, I might get a little bit sketchy from time to time, depending on what all we have going on. But I don't use a generator. Just it's an investment that I haven't put into because I've never needed to. But you kind of just like with that, you figure out what you need. You make sure before you attend, you tell the people that are in charge, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. We don't typically pay for space at an event.
Okay.
We'll do one of two things. We either pay for space or we will pay as a fundraiser. And so I tell them, you get to choose whether you want me to pay this $50 fee or whether you want me to pay that $50 fee or you want $3 an item back for your items. I'll do whatever you want. So as the school that we did a couple weeks ago, it was a $50 fee. And we ended up writing them a check for like $160, I think, because we sold more items than what they anticipated. But for me, that's a ploy because now I can pay the $50 and that's great. $50 is a couple t-shirts. But if I tell them you're going to get $3 a shirt back, they're now promoting me. They are now making sure that I am in a prime location because they're getting more money than what they anticipated back.
And that's another great way of working with your community, collaborating. I also think that when people know you're giving back to the community on any level, there's this sense of trust and I want to work with you. I want to give you my business. And that doesn't work. That doesn't go across for everybody, right? Not everybody's going to go, oh, she's the one I want to do business with. But I think it's just another level of, really kind of telling about what kind of business and person you are. And I think that speaks volumes without having to speak volumes. And for those of you that are listening that cannot see images, the question came from Darren Plank. He was wanting to transition into on-site printing. What size of generator do you use is the question that he was asking Cayla. And funny enough, He also said, like you knew, I'm a firefighter. So I just love it when things work out that way. Not planned, but there you go. So I think we crossed T's and dotted I's on that one. So we've talked about product, we've talked about understanding the customer and the event that you go to. We've talked about transfers, personalization, what to charge, because that's another, difficult question. I think people question themselves on. um Marketing, branding, visibility, like all of this stuff that we've gone over in terms of um building this business over the last, I don't even know what year, we 10 years, almost 10, no, 8,
Mhm. Yeah,
almost 10
ish.
if you count 2014, right? um What's the biggest thing that you have learned in terms of pivoting, going through COVID, adjusting your business, growing your trailer? Like, if there is something that was just a big O nugget for you of information, what would that be?
Utilize your resources, whether your resources are people, your friends, your family, whether your resources are electricity or a generator. Um, the more the more you can utilize, the more outcome you're going to get. Um, I don't spend a lot of money to get stuff. I find stuff on Marketplace. I make sure that I can pay off my bills before I buy something. It might be smarter for me to get a loan, and so I get a loan, but I can pay it off. Utilize your resources and think one step ahead. Um, if you don't think ahead, you're not going to move ahead. Um, we're getting ready to transition into a totally different new side of the business and incorporating something new. Um, and I would have never thought that I would have seen myself there. We're looking at adding laser engraving and cups and wooden different designs. Uh, and 10 years ago, I wouldn't have seen myself there. 10 years ago, I bought a little machine so that I could save some money on embroidering clothes for my nephew. My nephew turned 10 this year, and my little one wore that onesie a couple
Oh,
years ago just to be cute.
I love it.
Um, but really utilize the people that you have, utilize the connections that you have, but don't overdo it. I always stress to my employees, when somebody comes in the shop or somebody comes in the trailer, ask them, how can I help you? But don't go down their throat. You are
Sure.
going to realize your customers, do they need help or do they not? And I am the type of person, if I go into a store and somebody comes up to me, I am more likely to leave than to really get into what I need for something. But then I also know there's people that want that connection. So you just have to read your clients when they come in front of you. Do they need help or do they just want to look around? And you have to respect them, because they might walk out the door and think about what they want and come back on another day.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If they're looking for something and they don't see it, maybe they're not comfortable enough to ask or to want that help. So you really have to understand the people that walk into your business, whether it is a brick and mortar or at an event. Just like the whole sizing thing that you mentioned. There's a lot of people out there that want that size confirmation. If you're paying for a garment, they want to know that they're getting what they need to get. And I think it's just being able, we're in a people business. We are in the business of working with customers, understanding customers. Yes, we get to make pretty things, cool things all the time, but at the end of the day, it's for a person most of the time. And it can be for animals too, but you know my point. The person's paying for it, right? So it's just like really understanding people as a whole. And I think you've talked a lot about that, from garments, the events that you attend, the employees and, support that you have with all of your events. And then of course the people that walk into your store. Um, how can people get in touch with you, or how do you prefer people get in touch with you, reach out? You are part of the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group, that community. Um, do you prefer email? Can people find you on Instagram? Do you prefer Facebook? What's the best way?
Facebook or email. Email, I think, is best. Email is not always the most common for people. People like Facebook or Instagram. But for me, email is best, because just like all of us, I get into an email and I get really good. And then my doorbell rings and I go and I help a customer. And then I come back and I'm on another track and I forget to get back to people. So at least with email, I can mark it as unread. But once I open up a Facebook message, I typically forget about it.
I understand that completely. What is your email, if you don't mind giving that out? That way, if anybody has any questions and they're able to get in contact with you.
Yep. So my email, I was trying to get on here, but it's going to make me connect to weird things. But my email is the number 1 and then Daisies, DAISYS, designs, DESIGNS @gmail.com.
Thank you so much for all of the information. This has been, I have absolutely loved this conversation. The amount of experience, the dedication. It's clear you love what you do, and you are really taking it to heart on building a community and collaborating with those around you. So kudos to you on just moving forward, even though you're in a small community and there's other people that do the same thing that you do, but you do it different. So, Cayla, again, thank you so much. I'm sure you should be on the lookout for questions in your email box from people. But I hope you have a wonderful day, weekend, and enjoy your time not in your office.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice.
All right, guys. If you are not part of the Heat Press for Profit group, go there now. It's on Facebook. It's just a huge community that we have of all different types of decorators with a focus on heat decorating, and people share their projects, their questions, their successes. You know, there's so much that's shown there. So thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.